All right, let's dive into a question that I think, at some point, gets to all of us. What is the real difference between just getting by, surviving, and truly feeling alive? I mean, you've probably asked yourself this exact question, right? That feeling like you're just stuck on a treadmill. You work, you struggle, you sleep, and then you just repeat the whole cycle all over again. The big question is, how do we break out of that? How do we find a life that actually feels meaningful?
Okay, so let's just draw a really clear line in the sand here. On one side, you've got surviving. That's a life that's basically dedicated to meeting the body's demands. Food, shelter, the basics. But on the other side, that's where you find living. And living, well, that's a life that's all about freedom.
Now, before we can even really dig into what it means to live, we've got to get super clear on what it means to just survive. And honestly, let's just call it what it is, a robotic existence. So here's a pretty stark way to think about it. If more than 80% of your waking hours, think about that, 80% are spent just on physical upkeep, getting food, maintaining security, or chasing some kind of pleasure, you're basically in survival mode. Your entire life becomes about one thing, servicing the machine. And yeah, that machine is you. There's this analogy that just makes this whole thing click. Imagine you buy a car, a really nice car, but the only place you ever drive it is to the gas station to refuel it. The car literally only moves so that it can get more fuel. It never actually goes anywhere interesting, never sees anything beautiful. That's it. That's the endless, pointless loop of survival.
And in that scenario, let's be real, you don't own the car owns you. And that's exactly what happens when we're just surviving. We become slaves to our own body-mind complex, right? We're just constantly feeding its needs, chasing its desires, and we never stop to ask the big question. Wait a minute. Is there an actual destination for this journey, or am I just driving to the gas station forever?
I mean, just think about it for a second. Technology today it's incredible. You can build a robot that can do almost everything a human does on that survival level. It can walk, it can talk, it processes information. It can even be programmed to act like it's in love. So, what is it? What's the one thing that truly fundamentally separates us from a really sophisticated machine?
This question, it brings us right to the heart of what makes human life so unique. It's this one single capacity that lifts us up from being just a biological machine into something else entirely. You could even call it your defining superpower.
To be free? That's it. A machine, no matter how complex you make it, is always a slave to its programming. It can never, ever choose to defy its own code. But that ability, that choice, to be free, that is the one thing that sets us apart. It's the absolute core of what it means to be alive.
And really think about this. An animal, it can be perfectly content in a cage as long as it gets its food and water. But a human being, something deep down inside of us always rebels against being caged. We are literally built to value freedom above everything else, more than comfort, more than security, and sometimes, historically, even more than life itself.
So, this fight for freedom, it's not simple. It's a battle that's fought on two fronts. You've got the external fight, right? That's against society, the media, everyone's expectations of you. But the real war, the one that truly matters, that one is internal. It's the fight against our own biological programming, our ingrained habits, and all that constant noise inside our own heads.
Okay, so how in the world do you win that internal battle? Well, it all starts by understanding the exact mechanism that's keeping you trapped in the first place. Because only when you see the trap can you consciously choose a different reality.
The main obstacle here, we can call it the false ego. This is that nagging voice inside, that sense of I that always feels like something is missing. It feels incomplete, kind of hollow, and it's constantly trying to fill that void by grabbing onto external things. Your job title, your possessions, your relationships, your achievements. So here's the ego's fragile little formula. It takes your core identity, that basic I am, and then it glues it to something outside of you, an association, like I am rich or I am successful. And poof, you've created a dependency. The huge problem? If that thing, the money, the success, is suddenly lost, that whole sense of I just shatters right along with it. This really leaves us standing at a fork in the road. There are two very clear paths. The ego's path is to just keep chasing more and more attachments, always hoping that the next thing will finally be the thing that makes us feel whole. But the path to freedom, the path to actually living, it's the exact opposite.
It's about consciously and intentionally choosing to break free from all those dependencies.
And let's be super clear about something here. This idea of dissociation, it does not mean you have to go live in a cave and give up all your stuff. Not at all. It's an internal shift. It simply means you're no longer dependent on those things for your sense of self, for who you are. To go back to our analogy, the car is still in the driveway, but it doesn't own you anymore.
Look, this whole journey, it's not just some intellectual exercise. It's actually pretty easy to comprehend these ideas, to get them on a mental level, like you're reading a book. But to truly understand them, that's a whole different ballgame. Understanding is when that truth moves from your head into your hands, into your actual daily choices. It's when you start to consciously live it by choosing freedom over bondage in this moment and the next and the next.
And really, that's what this all boils down to. Unlike a robot, you have this incredible, almost magical capacity to look at your own programming and choose to go beyond it. The potential to be free is right there within you. So the only question that's left, the one that really matters, is a choice. Do you choose to understand?